Hi, welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway, where I live with my husband and our 3 boys. Welcome to my knitting corner. Here I talk about knitting and yarn, and I hope that you want to sit down with something good to drink, you're knitting or crocheting, and that you want to spend some time with me while I chat about my knitting projects. You are so welcome, and I appreciate so much that you are here. If you're new, welcome so much, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Yes, I will have timestamps on my episode, so feel free to jump ahead or jump over things you don't want to listen to. I also have information about everything I talk about in the description box below. Yeah, so let's just get starting with the knitting. My first finished project is also what I'm wearing today, and it's my Tankar Tee. I don't think I had started it last episode. I think I only told you that it was a plan, but now it's knitted and done, and I am really happy with my Tankar Tee. It's designed by Annie Knits. It came out a few weeks ago. And from the moment I saw that she was working on this design, I knew I wanted to knit it. I have been knitting it in Sandnes line, which is cotton, viscose and linen. In the color 4234, it's the color terracotta. I think it's not available anymore. I think I bought it on sale. I knitted this on needle 3mm, and I knitted the size 1. The size 1 is not the size for me, but if you've been here before, you know my gauge is a big issue. So I had to go down to size 1 to get a result that can fit me. And it turned out okay. Maybe I could have knitted the size 2 to get more positive ease. I think you should have about 5 to 15 centimeters of positive ease. But I'm really happy with it. I think it's not very loose, but it's loose enough. But it's supposed to be loose and boxy. So if I knit it again, maybe I'll knit size 2. But it depends on what yarn I knit in, and yeah. We'll see if I knit it again. I really like it, so I really want to. But I always want to knit the things several times, and it's not always that I do that, but we'll see. You knit the front and back panels separately, so it's a little bit of back and forth knitting. You also knit with short rows. I use German short rows because that's what I prefer. I think it's another one that's suggested in the pattern, but I use German short rows, and that worked out fine. Yeah, and then you join in the round and you knit around, so that's great. You also have to seam the shoulders on the top here. I don't love to seam, and I don't think I've done a really good job, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's good enough. I had to see some tutorials on YouTube, but I had troubles because it's ribbing, and I don't really know how to sew in ribbing. I think stockinette is okay because you do the mattress stitch, but I had trouble understanding how you did it when it's ribbing. But And I tried to watch a YouTube tutorial, but I didn't. I don't think I did what they did. I just made up my own way, and it's not perfect, but it's okay. I don't think people look very closely at at my sewing on the shoulders anyway, so that's okay. Yeah, I really like it, as I said. It's very comfy. I'm tripping on my microphone. Yeah, so it's not too cropped, but not too long, so perfect. Happy with it. Yeah. I also have a hat finished, as I often do, because I try to make a Christmas hat box. A box with lots of Christmas themed hats. And I have knitted Kalenderlua 2019 or 2019 by Handmade by Mona. It's a Norwegian pattern. It's not available on Ravelry because it's like an advent knit along. So you get a piece of the pattern each day in December up against until Christmas Eve. So they are on Instagram, on Handmade by Mona. She has made this kind of a hat, advent hat, for 5 years maybe, or more. So they are all available on Instagram. It's in Norwegian, but it's only the diagram, so I think anyone could understand or could knit them, even though they don't speak Norwegian. Yeah. So here is my calendar hat 2019. So I am really happy with how it is. I really like this color work. It's knitted in Rauma Finull in the color 452 grey and 486 dark olive. And it's a double brim, which I like. It's knitted on size 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles. But since I am such a loose knitter, it's still pretty big. I can try to take it on so you can see. You see, it's quite baggy for me because I am such a loose knitter, but I can't go down more on my needles. I feel that's I will lose all my knitting joy if I have to knit on even thinner needles, I think. But it's okay. What do you think? If I'm not using it, someone else in the house can use it. So that's okay. I have 3 boys, no, 4. My husband can use it. Who can use it as well, so. Okay, fixing the hair. It's okay. Yeah, it's not too much to say about it, other than I really enjoy to knit on this, since I'm doing it like an advent calendar, so I only knit a couple of rows every day, so I don't get tired of it. And I like to knit color work and practice on that. And Rauma Finull, it's 100% Norwegian wool, and it's my favorite for color work because it's so forgiving, and when you wash it, it just blocks out perfect. So that's my calendar hat. And I have one more finished object today, and it's the Ripple Bralette by Jessie May Design. I haven't knitted it as a bralette, but as a more like I don't know if you call it singlet in English. We call it singlet, but maybe it's more like a tank top. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so here it is. It looks quite funny. but it fits, I can promise you. And I will probably put in some pictures at the end so you can see how it's on. I knitted this in purple yarn in the colorway Rudolph. This was a skein that I won in a giveaway in the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. So that was a lot of fun. I knitted on 2.5 3mm needles. I knitted the size small. You're supposed to have a lot of negative ease. I think about 23 to 28 centimeters of negative ease. And I for sure have a lot of negative ease in this. Maybe a bit too much for my taste. I think if I'm knitting this again, which I really want to, as always, I will knit a size up, I think. Yeah. I wanted to use as much of the skein as possible. The skein was 100 grams, or it has to have it. It probably weighed more than 100 grams because this weighs 88 grams and I still have 18 grams left of the yarn. So it probably weighed a bit more than 100 grams. And since this is knitted bottom up, I felt it was really hard to know how much I needed to do the top of this tank, or what you call it. So I first thought that maybe I would wait until I had 20 grams left of the skein and then start the top. But when I got to 30 grams, I was like, I'm terrified that I won't have enough yarn. So I just started on the top, and actually that was okay because this is more than long enough. I could have even shortened it a bit, maybe this much, I think. Yeah, so it's long enough. And I still have 18 grams left of my skein, so yeah, it was nothing to worry about. I changed it a bit because of course the length is different than in the pattern, and I also stopped the decreases on the triangles before you were supposed to, because I didn't want it's supposed to have I-cord on the straps, but I just wanted to have ribbing on the straps, so I stopped and I just continued ribbing on my straps, and I have sewn it on the difficult with words, yes. I've sewn it to the back. It's not a very nice sewing, so I won't show you. But it's on the back, it doesn't matter. And as I see now, it's the wrong way. It's inside out. Hello. That's the right way, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I shown it inside out in my Norwegian podcast, but don't tell them. But it looks pretty much the same. No, it looks pretty much the same. Yeah. What more can I say about it? It's not much more to say about it, I think. It's the Ripple Bralette, and I'm in a tag version, and I'm pretty much happy with it. The only thing is I could have had a looser cast on. I forgot to think about that when you have it under your bust, as it's supposed to be on the Ripple Bralette, you want it tight here. But when you knit it down, you don't want it as tight in around your waist or your hips or wherever you want it. So it's a bit too tight here on the cast on. I can just like fold it in, and it is not a problem because it eases out in a way when you get above the cast on. So I have to keep that in mind if I'm knitting it again. But yeah, it's okay to have it in the summer wardrobe, or just have under a sweater or something in the winter for extra warmth. That could be nice too. So that's my ripple bralette. I am still knitting on my Italian summer scarf by an Italian knitter, and I'm knitting on my girlfriend's cardigan by Ankestrikk. I haven't knitted a lot on them, so it's not much progress. So I was thinking that maybe I won't show them today, but I wasn't sure. So tell me what you think. Do you want to see my projects in each episode, even though they are returning in many episodes, or do you just want to see them when there's a good amount of progress? So I would be interested to know what you like to see. I don't want to bore you with the same information in every episode, but if you think it's okay and you like to see them, then let me know. But I am still knitting on them. The girlfriend's cardigan is quite warm to knit on right now, so it's only a few rows here and there because yeah, it's wool and alpaca and mohair, so it's quite warm to knit in the summer. But yeah, it will be done. I don't need it now. I need it for the fall and winter, so it will be done sometime in the fall. And in the summer scarf I want to have, but I am knitting on 2.25 millimeters, and that's really small, and my yarn is really thin, so I feel it goes by really slow. But I'm trying to knit a bit on it every day, so we'll see when I have that done. But I have cast on something new. I cast on the Brightest Tee by Lily Kate France. Lily Kate makes on Instagram, and I think I talked about this too in plans last episode. I knitted 2 of this last summer and I love them. They are my favorite summer tops, so I was really eager to cast on another one this year. Here it is. This is through the wardrobe yarn, the Advent from last year. That was called In December We Wear Pink, and this is the 100 gram skein. That was for Christmas Day. I think you open it, yeah. Yeah, I'm knitting size 3 in on 2.25 millimeters and 2.5 millimeters. So thin needles here as well, because I'm a loose knitter. Yeah, I also, since it's only 100 gram skein, I also use scraps from my Advent, the minis that came in the Advent. So I'm just blending in some of them, and I don't even think you can see that. Because the colors in the mini skeins are colors that are in the main skein, or the 100 gram skein. So here is what I have left of the 100 grams, and I put in some of the scraps from my Advent. So that's great to get to use up that as well. Yeah, it's short rows in the back, which I love. I really love short rows. And it's you can also knit optional bust darts, which I have done to get some more fabric in the front. I think that's a very clever and nice way to get some more room where you need it. But it's optional, so you don't have to knit them if you don't want to or don't need them. And there are also short rows on the top of the shoulders. And you have this nice detail in the sides with some ribbing and some yarn overs. So I really enjoy knitting on this. I think it's great that you only need, or for my size, you only need like 130 grams, something like that, 130, 140 grams of yarn. So I like to find a special skein and then just try to find some scraps to match. That's what I've done for my other two tops as well, so I really like that. So this is almost done, not much left. Yeah, so that will be a nice addition to my summer wardrobe. Yeah, and I'm also knitting on another summer garment. I am in the summer garment mood. I don't know, I really have catched the summer top bug. And I have a lot of summer tops in my closet now. I don't need any more, but I think they are so much fun to knit. And yeah, I just thought something about it. Maybe it's because it's summer and I'm just into that right now, but yeah, I can't knit this many summer tops each summer. Then I will have I need own room for my summer garments. Oh. Anyway, another summer top. Spring Bloom Tee by Humble Knit. Humble Knit is a Norwegian designer, but she has this pattern also in English, so go check out Humble Knit on Ravelry. She has more beautiful designs there. I knitted another one also by her, but I can't remember the name, but it has beautiful cables on the shoulders. I really like that one. But this is Spring Bloom Tee. Here it is so far. And it has this beautiful structure on the shoulders. I don't know how well I can show you. It's not washed and blocked, so hopefully it will be a bit better when it's washed and blocked. I'm knitting this in Dale Lerche. It's merino and cotton in the color Sharp Green 8163. I'm knitting size medium on 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles. I bought this pattern 2 years ago because I thought it was so nice and I wanted to knit it right away, and I bought the yarn as well, and then it was just laying there in my stash. And last year I used the yarn I bought for this for the summer souffle instead, and I bought some new yarn for this because I wanted to knit this too. So then I went bold and I bought this Sharp Green. Yeah, so that is a long time coming, but finally on my needles. I'm terrible at that. I see a pattern that I want to knit, I buy it, I buy the yarn, and then I see something new and I cast that on instead. Story of my knitting life. I try to be better, but yeah, so much inspiration out there. Yeah, it's a really great pattern. I really enjoy it. The only thing is that the chart for the lace pattern is tiny. I really had trouble seeing it. My husband was so kind that he printed it in on a bigger, on A3 we call the paper. I don't know if it's the same in English, but it's bigger. But still, I had trouble seeing what it was saying on the chart. It's a big chart, and I didn't find the written instructions, only the chart. So I had to just squint and see. So it took some time for me to get through it, but it went okay. But the pattern is great. It's only the chart that is, for me at least, hard to see. Maybe it's because I need to go to the eye doctor and get some new glasses. That can be. But my husband had trouble to see what it said. So I don't know. But I got there in the end. Yeah. So that's good. I decided to go for the size medium because the other one I knitted in her design is the same gauge, I think. It's also in the same yarn. I think this is the recommended yarn too. Yeah. But I think I am knitting even looser than I did when I knitted the other one. Same with the Brightest Tee. I went for a size 3 on that one because I knitted my first Brightest Tee in size 3. And that was actually, when I first took that on, I thought it was too tight. But now I love it. So that's why I decided to go for a size 3 now. But I think it's bigger than the one I knitted last year. And same with this. I think I'm even looser knitter now, which is terrible. I really want to be a tight knitter. Yeah, or tighter, and so I can get the correct gauge. So I tried it on yesterday. It's a little bit big, not too much, but just a little bit. So I had knitted the ribbing on the arms, and I was done with one of the arms. And it was just a little bit loose around my arm. So I decided to rip back the ribbing and just decrease a bit more than the pattern says, because you're supposed to decrease before you start the ribbing. But I decreased even more, I think 12 stitches more, to get this more tight around my arm. And this will probably look like a puff sleeve. But that's okay. I just see, no, nothing. Yeah, so we'll see how that ends up. Also, the body, maybe I will decrease some stitches in the sides, and we'll see how it turns out, if it fits me or not. And if I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to rip it back, but I will give it to someone or something like that, I think. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun to knit anyway. I love to knit lace, even though I had a bit trouble with the charts. But I think it's a lot of fun to knit lace, so that is good. So that is my Spring Bloom Tee. And I cast on also for a hat. Not a Christmas hat this time, but a Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. I'm sure you all know about it, so I won't talk too much about it. But I'm using scraps from my advent last year, Through the Wardrobe Yarn, from Through the Wardrobe Yarn. I just want to use up my scraps. I still have I think I had 150 grams left of the minis. That's a lot. So I'm using some in my Brightest Tee, but then I also want to knit Musselburgh with the rest. So here is the beginning of it. I'm sure all of you have heard about this a million times, but you knit the tube and then you just fold the one end of the tube into the other one and you have a hat. So it's great. And it's also good because you don't need to knit a gauge swatch. Not that I do that anyway, but if you are like to do that, then you don't have to do that with this. You just cast on as the stitch count that she says, and then you increase until you have enough fabric to see how many stitches you have in between. I think it's 2 or 2.5 centimeters, and then she tells you how many stitches you need to increase to in the size that you want. So I am knitting the child small adult size. Yeah, on 3.5 millimeter needles. So there's not much to say about it. I don't think it looks so good right now. You can see it's really uneven. So I don't know why that is, because now I'm knitting on a 40 centimeter cord, but I started on magic loops, so maybe that is why. But I'm thinking that it will be okay, that maybe this side is not so nice and that the other side maybe will look okay, so I can fold in this side and hide my mistakes or the unevenness. And maybe it will be better even when it's washed, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this will be a gift. That's my goal, but if I'm not happy with it, I don't think I want to gift it. But I will try. I will knit it and we'll see how it goes. This is a fade, a pink fade, but after using them for 2 sweaters, I just put all my leftover or the scraps in a bowl and mix them all up. So I don't know which one is first, second, third, and so on. I tried to lay them out as best I could in a fade, but I can see that I am not totally correct because this up here is darker than down here, but I couldn't see it when it was only in a little ball. But now that it's knit up, I can see that it's a bit stripy. But that's okay, I don't mind, I think. We'll see. I will keep on knitting this hat. I want to use up the rest of my advent now, so. And if I get some leftovers now or scraps from this project, then it will go into my Cozy Memories blanket. That's my plan. So, because I'm knitting on a Cozy Memories blanket as well, I haven't showed you for quite some time now, but I have knitted a few more squares, so maybe I can show it to you soon. But it's ongoing ongoing project. Yeah, so it's not done for a while. I want to have a quite big blanket, I think. So yeah, we'll see. But that's my Musselburgh hat, and that is everything I am knitting on right now. I have a few acquisitions this time because one of my local yarn stores had a sale. They put out on Instagram that they had 70% off on yarn or colors that they were, I don't know what you say in English, colors that are not going to be dyed anymore. So they sell them out, yeah, and they won't come back. So they had 70% off a lot of yarn from Sunnis and Knitting for Olive and Filcolana. And 70%, that's quite a lot. So I was tempted and I took a drive and I got some yarn that I probably don't need, but it was fun and it was cheap. They had a sale earlier that week. They sold the same yarn for 50% off. So they were, and I didn't go then. I was like, no, I don't have to. I had to tell myself that all day after I saw that you don't need more yarn, and I didn't go. But when they put it on sale for 70%, then I was like, okay, I can't contain myself, I have to go. So I did. I bought Sandnes tynn line. This is knitted in line, which is it's the same yarn, but this is thinner. This is 220 meters on 50 grams. So a light fingering. And yeah, I can start with this. Line is the cotton, viscose and linen. So I bought this color. It's a color that they are no longer going to dye, but it's 25-27 ochre. And I bought the Petal Party crop earlier this year. It's designed by Samantha Gerwin, I believe. The same that has the Salty Air Tee. And I really want to knit Petal Party crop in like a blue, really clear blue color, like the one she has on her pattern page on Ravelry. But I haven't found the perfect blue yet, so I decided to buy this. They didn't have a lot of colors to choose from, or they have had one random skein, so different colors. But then I found this in the enough yardage or that I needed. So I just decided that I would buy this because it's really cheap, and I can try to knit it in this and see if I like it, and if I do, I can knit it in the blue later. We'll see. So that's the plan. If it becomes Petal Party crops, who knows? Who knows? But that's my thoughts. And I bought more Sandnes tynn line. I've never tried Sandnes tynn line before, so I'm excited to try it. Many Norwegian podcasters really love to knit with this. Even they like it more than this, which is the same but thicker. And many people say that they prefer to knit with 2 strands of tynn line instead of the regular line. So I don't know, I'm excited to try. But I also bought this color, which is golden brown, 2553. This is going to become a Coran cardigan by Rebecca Crea. I knitted the Coran cardigan not long ago in drops bommelin, and I knitted a long version But I also want a short one or a cropped, no? We'll see. But not a long one. So I'm going to knit with 2 strands of this, and hopefully that will be good. Of course, they didn't have a lot of colors to choose from. That was enough balls of yarn that I needed, so that's why it's this golden brown, but I think it can be a nice corn cardigan. So that's the plan, but we'll see, you never know. And also I bought some wool. It's baby Sandnes baby ull lanette, or baby wool. This is the color Deep Petrol. I think it's more like dark green. That's how it seems for me. But I can see the petrol, maybe, because it is more blue, green, dark. But for me, this was like the perfect Christmas green color. So when I saw it, I thought it was green. But I still think for me, it's green. But the blue leaning kind of green, maybe. I want to knit the Bows of Holly. Is that right? Bows of Holly sweater by Herb Garden Knitwear, because I want another Christmas sweater, and I think that is so beautiful. And I also got, because it's a color work, I got this Sandnes Sisu. That's wool and nylon in the color Chino Screen 8031. So when I were again, they didn't have a lot of colors to choose from, or they do, of course, but not on sale. They have a whole beautiful store full of beautiful yarn and colors, but I wanted to buy on sale. That's why I was there. Yeah. So let me know if you think this can be a good color together with this for a Christmas sweater, or if I should choose another color. Because this can always be socks, because it's nylon in it. So if I use it for socks, then I buy another color or contrast color, then that's okay. But I was thinking maybe these, but I'm not sure. But I'm not starting this, because this is a plan that is definite. This is going to be so, but I'm not starting it until the fall. My only goal is that it's done for December, or before December. So, and I also bought some skeins of Filcolana Arvetta for some socks, because I have like not a plan, but maybe a thought that maybe I will try to knit more socks in the future, because I have knitted a lot of garments, so my closet is full. It's so many sweaters, and it's so many summer tops, and yeah. But I love to knit them, so that's my problem. It's not a problem really, but for me, it's not only about the finished project. I love that too. I always love the finished garment, or object that I knit. But it's also the knitting, and I love to knit garments. Yeah, but I really want to knit socks, and I want to knit more blankets and other accessories. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but don't hold me to it, because I knit what I love and what I want, but I have like a dream about knitting socks, because there are so many beautiful sock patterns and a lot of beautiful yarns to use. My only trouble is that I am so hard wearing on my socks, so I can't use them for a long time before they wear holes in them, and then it's not fun to use beautiful sock yarn for me anyway. But I can gift them, so we'll see. But that's a plan, or not a plan. My plans are always very loose, so I'm sure if you've been there before, you know that I'm not always sticking to my plans, but I think that's a part of the knitting journey for me anyway, so that's okay. I think it's time to bring this episode in for a landing. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for all your beautiful comments, encouraging words, thumbs up, and thank you for subscribing. If you're not already subscribed but you enjoyed the content and liked to listen to me waffle about my knitting, then please consider subscribing. That would mean so much to me and would really help out my channel, and that I can share my love for knitting to more people. Thank you so much again for being here. I will continue to repeat that because it really does mean a lot to me. I hope that the weather is nice wherever you are. Here in Norway we have summer right now. It's been really warm, which is nice, and sunny. Today we have rain, which is also good because the garden really needs some rain. It's been really dry, and yeah, so it's good to have a few days of rain as well. So today it's an indoor day. We will I will just be knitting, and the kids will probably be sitting by their computers and and do some gaming or whatever they do, those kids. But I will be knitting and enjoying my day, drinking coffee, and I hope you do the same. That was just my 7-year-old son. He wants to show me something. He found something exciting, so I have to go do that. But I hope that you are well, that your health is good, and that you are knitting on something fun, something you enjoy, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.